going to take a while. It happened years ago.
Pronoun game.
10 years ago,
We're doing this X years ago thing again.
there was a war that engulfed the world. The Belkan War.
Roll credits.
He was a lone mercenary who inspired both fear and admiration.
Lone mercenary implies that Cipher did not have any wingmen, but as we're about to find out, that's not true. The Axe and Hammer license agreement is taken from the Apache Software Foundation's official license agreement. They just changed a few words and acronyms, including mentions of Apache to either ACE or Zero. We interrupt the Belkan War to show you this very long shot of the snowy mountains. 6th, 66th? Getting a little obvious with the devil references, aren't we? Now? Were we not always Galm 1? Was there a previous Galm 1 that we served under? Why would their bombs matter out here? Valais is too far, there's nothing for miles, it's just a mountain range. Why would the bomber need to withdraw if its IFF was inoperable? Why would it even need IFF? Can't they use visual guidance to confirm the base instead? Pixy would be great at CinemaSins. Why are they telling Pixy to slow down instead of Cipher? Cipher's the one doing all the work right now.
I'd like to see how those Belkan cowards report back to their superiors.
I don't think they'll be reporting back to their superiors ever again. We did shoot them down over a mountain range, as I keep trying to remind this game.
Cipher, I have a feeling you and me are gonna get along just fine. Oh, buddy.
That's not weird or creepy at all.
Galm team, you have permission to land.
Game gives us a landing cutscene instead of a landing minigame.
The Belkan War is shrouded in mystery. But now, a decade after the peace accords, a portion of the records was finally released.
Wait, you're telling me that all official records on the Belkan War were confidentially sealed for 10 years, and only in 2005 they decided to release some of them? It wasn't a secret war. OCO could have certainly released a few documents beforehand.
Wanting more details, I acquired information from unknown sources.
How do you acquire information from sources you don't even know? Anonymous sources I understand, but you're a reporter. You shouldn't be using the words unknown sources.
The occupied Ustio government military placed all their hopes on a joint operation between OSIA and the foreign mercenary forces. This, of course, can be found in any history book.
But then why did you say the war was shrouded in mystery? That's a lot of details you just threw on us.
There were several accounts about a mercenary, all followed by the code word demon.
Strange Reel really has a boner for demon allegories, doesn't it?
This route is Usio's lifeline. I'll get it back.
You and what army? There's no I in Galm team.
We gotta strike while the iron's hot.
So is Pixy just going to spout random sayings that have no connection to what's happening in the gameplay?
I'm sure this fight will change the look of this place.
I'll take that as a yes.
Missile inbound.
Wait, hold on. That's supposed to be a house? That's more like what the Iroquois would live in. This is a house. This is very obviously a military storage facility.
Captain, they're close by the bridge. We're about to enter the battle zone.
Cargo? Ruck's transport unit? What are these guys up to? And you're not going to follow up on that. Why does the most important thing that happened to our wingman not get explained in the actual game? Kinky.
The presence of a magnetic field has been detected, which may interfere with communications.
This gets mentioned, but it never actually happens at any point during gameplay. The only person who brings it up is Schmidt in his interview. But otherwise, communication in B7R isn't any different from the other missions.
Smoke weed every day.
Belkan Priority 1 Strategic Airspace B7R, aka the Round Table.
I don't get where the round table nickname came from. What part of B7R looks round, or like a table? I get the Arthurian reference, but where would the name come from in-universe?
No affiliations or ranks to hinder us.
Then why do squadron leaders still command their units in B7R? And the area isn't a free-for-all, everyone's still affiliated to their country. This phrase is completely meaningless in practice.
Penetrate B7R and get a feel for the surroundings. Galm team, penetrate B7R airspace.
I think Eagle Eye just likes saying penetrate.
Let's see what those planes are made of.
Metal, glass, some wiring.
Look out for chaps.
Hey, that's not fair. How come the enemy gets to use flares and chaffs, but we can't?
You will be given a choice of missions in this joint operation.
Splitting up one mission into 3 was a really annoying concept, especially since you can't choose your A style and free mission for these splits. They couldn't find a way to combine these into one mission, where you had to get a certain number of points. It works for Bastion and lying in the seat later on, why not here?
And the last mission is called Operation Cosmo. This is an escort mission, whose objective is to protect the naval vessels in Osea's 3rd Fleet, including its state-of-the-art aircraft carrier, which will be making a trial voyage.
Why would you risk the loss of a brand new carrier in a mission as important as this?
Captain, we here on the Kestrel.
It had to be the Kestrel.
The Galm team is engaged with Belkan forces. Other planes go join them.
Wasn't everyone supposed to be engaged with Belkan forces? Or are the other allied planes just twiddling their fingers watching the Ustio mercenaries at work?
Anyone will get desperate if they're getting pounded, and Belkan's no exception.
Have a lot of experience with that, Pixy.
Enemy forces eliminated. Nice work, Galm team. This should make your next operation a whole lot easier.
What does that even mean? We wouldn't even have a next operation if this didn't succeed.
Be aware of civilians still inside Solus Ortis. Your actions will determine their fate.
I understand that we're mercenaries, but wouldn't there still be punishment if Cipher and Pixy actually shot civilians?
Escort units, this is the 122nd Airborne. We're now entering the designated airspace.
Wait, didn't the briefing say...
Comprised primarily of Osea's 101st Airborne Division.
First, attack any anti-air troops positioned at our parachute unit's drop destination.
Why were the transport planes entering the airspace and dropping the troops when it was still a hot zone? In Mission 8, they do it properly where Galm team has to clear the area before the transports come in. But here, they risk the lives of every paratrooper because of their impatience.
Anyone showing weakness will be left behind.
What does left behind mean in this context? Are you going to shove them out the door if they don't jump?
Fox 2. Radar lock.
Holy hell. Pixie's AI is back to Ace Combat 4 levels. He's really aggressive and capable in combat. After seeing some horrible friendly AI in Ace Combat 5, I'll give credit where credit's due. Knock off a sin for that.
Powerful weapons have been placed in each ward, comprising the Belkan Army's Ustio branch headquarters.
By powerful weapons, you mean the tanks and AA guns and SAMs we've been destroying for half the mission so far?
This is Tank Company 3. We're being attacked by Belkan fighters. Somebody take them out for us.
What was the point of this gameplay mechanic? These special moments only happen about 3 times in the whole game. They don't really impact anything.
It doesn't look like they'll let us head back to base unless we take out those 2 planes.
Backwards firing missiles.
This is Gault 2. That's an order.
Do Belkan pilots accept death unless their commanding officer gives them permission to bail out? That seems upside down.
Galm 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Fire! Van 6, you're cleared for takeoff. Van 7, hurry up and taxi.
Okay, this is really cool to see so many allies taking off at the same time as you. I don't believe we've had this happen before in the series. I'll take off a sin.
Check that out. It took a hell of a lot of gunfire to make those holes. Plane wreck. Jonathan must have shot him down here.
That would mean a whole lot more if we could actually see holes or plane wrecks.
This is Area Castle. All functions are down. Most of our troops have fallen.
No more attacks are coming from Sector B.
What's happening to Section 3? Haven't communications been restored yet?
Each sector has 3 different names for some stupid reason. They should have just stuck with the area blank names and marked them like that on both the briefing map and the radar.
something just flash?
That would mean a whole lot more if we could actually see some kind of flash at that moment. Why are the operations labeled Alpha, Beta, and Theta? The third Greek letter is Gamma, not Theta.
There's nothing to worry about. We always win our battles.
Famous last words.
Where's the commander? Did you hear the warning? He said he was going to a lake this morning. I haven't seen him since. Why does he disappear when we need him the most? Engage the enemy!
What's weird about Merlon Alpha is that there's this terrible army commander, and he actually has 2 or 3 possibilities as to why he disappeared. I'm not sure what the trigger is. It might be the A style, but it's an odd thing to have so much effort put into.
All personnel get ready for battle. Engage the Allied forces.
They're working well as a team. They must have a capable commander.
I love that this game gave us a capable female army lieutenant. More female power in military games is always good to see. On top of the female characters in prior games, I'll knock off 3 cents for equality. How did you even get so far on the west side of the airspace? We came from the south.
All enemy fighters have been eliminated. Threat level reduced to 2.
What does threat level 2 even mean?
What was that? Something flashed again.
How did Pixy see the laser before it even showed up? Those 3 transports went to the Looney Tunes School of Cartoon Physics.
Incoming emergency message from Operations HQ. Enemy launching long-range attacks. Current airspace is within range.
You know, that statement adds no information to what we just saw.
Plane 4 just vanished. Allied planes are disappearing from range.
With Stonehenge and Sidfaxi, you were given ages to get out of the danger zone. But here, you're barely given a second or 2 to react until the laser appears. It's no wonder so many people have more trouble with this part of the mission than the entire next mission.
This is Crew Team's number 3. Name's PJ. I'll support you any way I can, Galm Team.
Grim, is that you?
The tanker's been destroyed.
I've always hated Eagle Eye's inflection in that statement. He said it like it was a target we had to destroy, not a friendly aircraft.
Jamming facility 1 destroyed.
Excalibur doesn't care if there's ground in the way. Excalibur fires wherever Excalibur wants to fire.
Electrical charges surpass maximum value. Target confirmed. Laser emission distance has been calculated.
That felt like the writers got a whole bunch of science-sounding words and made random sentences out of them. Nothing in that line made any scientific sense.
It's no good trying to fly inside Excalibur. It's surrounded by railway artillery.
It's kind of odd the railway artillery didn't actually, pose a threat. Ace Combat Infinity introduced danger areas just like Excalibur's laser for the artillery lasers, which could very easily shoot you down. But here they're just pretty decorations. Oh, PJ's from the Strangeville equivalent of Texas.
PJ, don't get too excited and crash, buddy.
I see Eagle Eye has adopted Pixie's buddy line.
The Allied forces officially announced the permanent abrogation of its non-aggression treaty at the Assembly of Nations.
All of this information is never brought up anywhere else. What non-aggression treaty? What's the Assembly of Nations? Which nation tore up the treaty first? What was the whole point of this?
Rory, can you read me? It's happening just as you thought. It's about time we got out of this dead-end job. Not just yet.
Foreshadowing.
That kind of pilot, we call it Demon Lord.
Who's they? Who calls anyone a Demon Lord?
There's an annoying fly in the enemy. Alright, change of plans. We'll deal with the escaped craft later. All planes, we don't have time to go game hunting out here.
Then why did you engage Galm Team in the first place? If Schwartz is a Shadow Squadron, they shouldn't be involving themselves in official large-scale battles like this.
Those mercenaries smell of money and death. They're nothing but vultures, scavenging for profit through the blood of others.
Said the pot to the kettle.
Get out there. The rules will protect you.
What was it that Pixie said?
The only rule of engagement was to survive.
Damn the Phantom. I guess looks can be deceiving.
A real ace pilot can use any aircraft to their advantage, but I guess PJ wouldn't know about that.
My pulse raced at the astounding accomplishments of the mercenary known as Demon Lord. I forgot about my job.
What kind of journalist are you?
I was given an opportunity to interview the former aces of the Belkan Air Force. Back then, they were...
Wait a second, these guys weren't part of offensive campaign number 4101. Especially not the guys during Mayhem, that was long afterward.
My pride was shot, and the round table was defiled. What went wrong? Whatever it may be,
Flesher really can't keep his head off a swivel, it just keeps falling and turning. Oh, Pops ran a diner in Sudentor before joining the Ocean Air Force.
I squinted my eyes and confirmed the situation. Checked the terrain, air currents, his plane, his maneuvers, and his remaining ammo. I figured I could do it.
And here is Schmidt demonstrating for us what checking the terrain, air currents, Cipher's plane, Cipher's maneuvers, and Cipher's remaining ammo looked like. Also, how could Schmidt confirm an enemy's remaining ammunition from a distance, especially after not being there for half the battle? Especially in a series like Ace Combat, where our planes can hold hundreds of missiles.
Dmitri Heinrich.
Sorry, can you say his last name again?
Heinrich.
He's choking on that last syllable.
An ace whose precision and grace in flying earned him the title of Blue Heron.
And yet the screen is blatantly displaying Indigo Heron, and his squadron is Indigo Team.
Initially, my squadron was assigned to the stable Eastern Front.
This guy even sounds like a pompous asshole. All he needs is an apple.
The pilot was still young. He had yet to master the rules of combat.
Again with these rules. Pixy, duty honors.
the only rule of engagement was to survive.
For some reason, Altman has framed portraits of the Razgriz and the Princess from a blue dove for the Princess from Ace Combat 5.
This man was head of the command group.
He was the head of a shadow squadron, not a command group.
You on, make some space on the truck bed.
How am I supposed to do that?
We're carrying a wounded soldier.
It's a Rux unit again. They've come a long way since Mission 2. Still no idea what they're supposed to be doing.
Destroy them all.
Whoa, where did the B-2 come from? What's it going to do, bomb the bombers? The order to abandon Hoffnung was only just given. There's no way a B-2 could already be here to burn the ground even further.
Ignore the civilians. Our priority is withdrawing the troops out of the area.
You call yourself soldiers of pride when you abandon your civilians, leave them for dead in a burning city?
All I felt at that point was sadness for the world. That's why
You gonna finish that statement? No? Okay.
We were also able to confiscate samples of what seemed to be experimental weapons from the abandoned war factories.
What happened to the order to set fire on everything before they left?
For this mission, we would like you to assist the Allied ground troops by clearing the skies of enemy fighters. The South Belkan munitions factory is located in Sudentor, which means the remaining troops...
The briefing officer says clear out enemy fighters, but then the BM-335 is shown at the top right. Spoilers much?
Rogue team, do you read me? Head for Voltrike.
Whoa, hello? We're here too. Galm team, Demon Lord of the Round Table, remember us?
Head to intercept.
R1, roger. Row 2, moving to engage enemy.
I'll stop them.
PJ, did you forget your call sign?
Prepare to engage enemy. 5 miles remaining.
Why does Eagle Eye give us a distance this time and no other time? You may have I in your name, but you're no Sky Eye.
I see them. Enemy fighters with nukes.
Not only are they not fighters, how can you see the nukes if they're even there? Their bomb bays aren't open yet.
Warning. Change course immediately. Return to base or you'll get shot down.
The enemy's attacking each other?
I wish we had more moments like this. This was really unique and powerful to see Belkans trying to prevent mass destruction by attacking their fellow pilots. I'll knock off a sin for Zero having unique storytelling. And this is so powerful the first time you play it. This was the first time the Ace Combat HUD was so severely affected by something, and the first real glimpse you're given into the worst atrocity in Strange Real and Ace Combat history. Knock off another sin. This would have also been a really powerful moment, if the game didn't screw it up sometimes where Pixy wouldn't even fire on you.
This is where we go our separate ways.
How is Pixy's radio clear of interference?
Maybe their old militaristic leaders couldn't stand the idea of Allied forces invading their land. and declared to the world that the land to the north was the Holy Land of Belka.
So why didn't they just offer peace talks to the Allied forces instead of immediately going for the nuclear option?
To compensate for the losses in Galm team, Crow team will be joining you.
No, only Crow 3 will be joining. Crow 1 and Crow 2 simply vanished.
A return line is located on the west side.
Who designed this mission so that the enemy forces keep going further east? Wouldn't it make sense to have them spread out closer to the return line so the player isn't bored in long flights back and forth?
The passage into the central area is dangerous. Bring them into the underground floor.
Target destroyed.
Our tests will guarantee that the operation is carried out successfully.
How is your death beneficial to the terrorist uprising 6 months from now?
All we do is carry stuff with withdrawal.
At times like this, we need to keep busy, Elon.
The Rux unit again? We still don't know what their whole purpose is. Are they just supposed to be a fun Easter egg?
Missile launched.
This has been brought up many times over the years, but this hangar doesn't look capable of housing XBO. The scale is too small.
Box 2.
That's the last thing I wanted to hear.
I'm not sinning this or anything, but I thought it was hilarious how Blaze 1337 managed to capture this line right after the mission accomplished tone.
All attack targets have been destroyed. Galm team, not bad for a couple of rookies.
Who are you calling a rookie?
As to the intended purpose for using the giant hangar described in the report, rest assured that intelligence is looking into the matter.
Waiting until the XBO bombs a city 6 months later? Is that how you get your intelligence?
The mission will be called Operation Bloom.
Wait, is he saying broom or bloom?
Operation Bloom.
He's definitely saying bloom. This whole R versus L localization quirk is really rampant in Zero. I get why they're mixed up to Japanese speakers, but still. Galm when it should be Garm, Rux when it should be Lux, and who knows whether it was supposed to be broom or bloom.
Mars team will strike first, followed by Mercury and then Jupiter.
That's not the order of the planets at all.
Belka's military forces will be reduced, and tension with neighboring countries will come to an end.
Make them cancel the ceasefire radio announcement.
Even if the radio is shut off, the politicians will still sign the treaty. Jamming the radio won't affect anything.
Our safety behind this battle.
This kid has got to learn how to be his own ace, not try to follow in another's footsteps.
You on it. We're ready to deliver.
First aid kit preparations complete.
And it's the Rux guys again. I swear they're everywhere.
The Demon Lord. Gunfire. The men who wiped out my squadron.
Which squadron was that? Sorry, all you guys look the same on the HUD.
You're doing fine, Galm team. Keep it up, Cipher.
Taking sides, are we, Eagle Eye? Whoa, why is there a stray helicopter in the middle of this battle? At 5,000 feet no less.
The battlefield shifted to the tables, and the politicians from all countries squabbled with each other over the rights to the underground natural resources, the initial cause of this war.
Hang on, why is Wheelvakia represented? They're too far east to have been involved in the war, and no official material indicates their involvement. The Nordlands too? They're even further east than Wheelvakia.
6 months passed without any developments. 6 months of void. I focused on this time period for the hidden truth laid there, and I learned that my pursuit of him was not a mistake.
This never made any sense. The signing ceremony was in June, and the very next thing to happen, besides Espada's desertion in October, was the XBO attack on Christmas Day. There was no truth hiding in the 6 months. Literally nothing happened in that time period at all.
Wait! We've just received an emergency transmission from the control tower. Unidentified aircraft are approaching our base. Scramble all planes. Quick, there's no time. Get into the air immediately.
The XBO isn't capable of jamming. Why was the computer going all crazy? Did the briefing officer pick it up and shake it to show Cipher and PJ how serious this was?
Warning, heavy ECMs.
Wait, so the XBO is capable of jamming? Then why doesn't that get reflected in the mission gameplay at all? I'm still sitting this for the inconsistency.
It could even be the Galm team. Send them up.
This was a Galm team mission in the first place. Why do we need special permission now?
Get some attacks in around the XBO cockpit. That should mess up his steering.
Why is the cockpit required to be destroyed to shoot it down? It's already lost all of its engines.
Warning, the enemy's locked onto you.
And why can the cockpit fire missiles?
There's a coded message on the radio. Decrypting message.
How is PJ able to decrypt an encoded message that quickly? And in mid-flight?
Remember to be prepared for attacks from land, air, or elsewhere.
Where else could attacks come from?
Your final sortie.
How do you know?
I'll be back.
Yep, he's dead. Epic line, but it makes no sense. The victor is whoever shoots down the other one. Justice doesn't block missiles. Wait, why are we getting a debriefing? Past Ace Combat games, especially 4 and 5, managed to omit the debriefing for some missions. Even this game does it for the next mission. We're still mid-flight, this debriefing shouldn't have been here. By comparison, this is a really nice touch that the mid-flight briefing actually looks much different than the normal briefing screen for this one special occasion. I'll knock off a sin for this one.
To deal with this, the Allied squadron will...
There's a lot of information here on the bottom right. Gross weight, fuel, center of gravity, and even an exhaust gas temperature gauge. Given the scale of the numbers, this is referring to the KC-10 we're about to refuel with. But the gross weight is listed as 595,500 pounds, whereas the fuel it's carrying is 232,500 pounds. A KC-10 weighs about 240,000 pounds when it's empty, which means there's 123,000 pounds still unaccounted for. A KC-10 can hold 356,000 pounds of fuel, which explains the unaccounted weight, but that means someone screwed up their math for the briefing display.
I have to stop them from launching the V2. Can't let them destroy the world.
So why aren't you entering the tunnels at all? Could really use your help right now.
We did it! We stopped the V2 launch! We're gonna be rich!
PJ's victory line on the mercenary run is the worst. It's completely out of character with everything he said up to this point, even the mercenary run. They really couldn't figure out something else for him to say? Something like, we've destroyed them all?
We are! I got a girlfriend back at the base. I'm gonna propose to her when I get back. I even bought flowers.
When you complete what seems like the final mission and then say you're going to propose to your significant other, you're basically marked for death. Look, even Ace Combat Infinity knew this.
Warning, unknown target approaching at high speed. Break! Ah! Dang it!
Why the hell did PJ brake left into Cipher? That risks both of them crashing, regardless of the laser. Also, why didn't Cipher brake at all? He just keeps flying straight even after being ordered to brake. We interrupt the World with No Boundaries uprising to show you this very long shot of the snowy mountains. Wait, haven't we done this already?
Transmission from enemy craft detected. He's controlling the V2 launch.
Didn't the Avalon staff have to prepare it for launch? They couldn't finish before Cipher destroyed their control facility, so how can Pixy just launch it if it's not ready?
That's what V2 is for.
Oh, that's just not fair, especially with barely any warning. Hang on, where have I seen this missile before?
This plane is protected by an ECM defense system.
Ah, yes, the magic ECM defense system that can deflect missiles and bullets. That doesn't look healthy for the atmosphere.
Wouldn't want to keep anyone waiting for you.
Who in the world would be waiting for Cipher? What, is he going to steal PJ's girlfriend?
They ring the bells here at dusk to honor the liberation of the capital. It signals peace, but to me, they are the sounds of death.
So why are you still living here? PTSD is a real illness. You can simply move somewhere else. I'm sure your wife and kids would understand.
But guys like him, Solo Wing, and me, we live the rest of our lives in hell. But then again, being alive is proof that we were good.
Zubov is such an underrated character. He deserved more.
Marcela Vasquez, the Espada team's number 2.
Marcela Macarena Vasquez? Did they even try? Why is there a tank in Sapin's capital in October 2005?
When a fighter plane goes down, that's the end. It disintegrates into pieces. Incinerated beyond recognition.
Okay, Hillenbrand, thank you for that imagery.
It's pretty lonely up there all by myself. I'd love to fly with him again someday.
What are you implying?
Demon Lord was right.
Snow? Is that you? Why didn't Gault get a face? Even his ID card is blurred out. How does that work? The Osea Federal Prison of Land Ford? English much?
The darkness envelops me in a borderless world. A world with no boundaries.
I think he's gone loco.
I should have died that day, but I didn't.
I guess the sun's rays are just gonna barge in and shine on Pixy for a moment.
I dragged my wounded body and reached ground zero of the nuclear detonations.
How could Pixy drag his wounded body from Avalon, deep in northern Belka, all the way to Valdrike? Not to mention the high levels of radiation in the mountains at the time.
It may be true that the world has no need of borders, but would getting rid of them really change anything? The world won't change for the better unless we trust people. Trust is vital in a peaceful world. But that will never happen.
Not enough credit is given to some niche games for delivering powerful messages. Ace Combat Zero's portrayal of war, what it does to people, and its ultimate message of trust and peace is so powerful. I'll knock off a sin. This credit sequence showcasing Thompson going through Sudentor, Dinsmark, and Alred for the interviews is so well crafted. I'll take another sin off, why not?
That's what V2 is for. Galm 1, Magnum.
Magnum, for pleasure seekers.
You're out of the danger zone. The round table's nothing special. I'll take care of things. The hell you are? You're not even out of replacement pilot training yet. Woo-ha! Get a good eyeful of this flying. Let it sink in.
You keep flying like that and you'll die real soon.
Rather than wait for the rescue team, I began to walk toward the nearest base. Of course, it did take me 3 days to get there.
3 days! It's an honor to fly as Galm's #2. And by the way, PJ stands for Patrick James. And I like to play polo. You know, the game with the horses. Maybe we should get going now.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Sector is clear.